Hello and welcome to this video tutorial. In this video tutorial we're going to show you how to create a glowing text effect in Gimp. And I'm also going to show you why Gimp is now on par or better than Photoshop. At least in my opinion, and I'm a long-time user of Photoshop since version CS all the way through version CS3. So, we're talking about Gimp 2.8 to be clear. We're not talking about an older version of Gimp, and this is the new release that came out just this year. And I'm not going to go into installing it or configuring it in this tutorial, although I might in a separate tutorial later if people have questions or if I feel it's necessary. So I'm going to start Gimp up. Now, I have a surprise in store for you with this tutorial that'll justify the statement I just made about comparing Gimp to Photoshop. Of course, my experience with Photoshop and Gimp is limited in both situations, but what little bit I do know, it does seem that Gimp has finally come into its own and has become a really good program, and I'm going to start trying to learn it and put up more tutorials to help other people learn it. So I want to go up here to File, New, and I'm just going to do try 768, I have dyslexia, what do you know, by 256, why not? Now, if you're wondering how my window is this way, I'm not going to go into all this here today, but if you go up to Windows, when you normally start Gimp, it'll be in its familiar all the windows floating kind of thing, and if you don't like that, you can simply click on this. It still won't look the same as mine because I have some stuff moved around, but all you have to do is go to Dockable Dialogues and click on any of these, and wherever you see it pop up, just drag it wherever else you want it on the screen. And if you want to have two things over here and you don't, all you have to do is drag it to the bottom down here until the line turns like a dark gray, and then it will pop in underneath. But that's all I'm going to tell you about that. That is not the purpose of this tutorial. So I'm going to click on the paint bucket icon, and we're going to fill this layer in with black. And I'm going to rotate, no, I'm going to leave that where it is, and we're going to click on a new layer right over here. It's this little, looks like a new page icon. And we're just going to call it layer, why not, and transparency. We want it to be on transparency. And we're going to turn this view of this layer off. Now, I have a reason for having it there, and I'll show you later. Anyway, we're going to go to Edit, and we're going to go, now this one will take a little bit of time to load. I'm running on a very slow, very old laptop, and I'm running Gimp along with a screen recording program, so I'll be surprised if this comes out in one piece. Under the grid spacing, I leave the colors where they are, but you can change them if you wish, and I have it at 32 by 32. And then you go to View, you want Show Grid, and you want View, and you want Snap to Grid. Now pick a paintbrush. You can pick a different brush tip if you want. I got just the normal brush tip and I have a hardness of 50. So, I haven't done it in this program, in this particular sizing, so this will be, that I was doing it before was, anyway. So we'll type in the word, we'll just not type it in, but we'll use the word test. So you can click, press and hold Shift, you'll see a line show up and it'll go up. Alright, I'm going to go up one more. Yeah, right here. So, click, go up. We want a little more spacing. We'll just keep one grid space between. I'm just doing a really funky font. You don't have to copy it, but I like to make my own fonts. And I like to use the paintbrush because of the softness of the brush. I think it contributes to the effect of what I'm going to show you about the glowing text. But these are my opinions, and you do not have to agree with them if you do not. Remember, at each time, click once to start the brush, press and hold Shift, and click again to draw the line, and then let go of Shift, and your line will be drawn. If you keep going, you're going to end up overwriting stuff, but you can press Control-Z to undo or go to Edit Undo. Alright, so we know that S is going to go something like this, and then if we go and I messed up. And that happens. And it's okay to mess up. It's all part of the learning process. We're basically doing like a slant of 2 grids. Okay, we're going to be a little bit off on the side, but that's okay. For the purposes of this tutorial, we're not trying to do anything super fancy, and who's going to want the word test? But you can type in any word you want. You don't have to copy what I'm doing. Oh, why not? Okay, I'm going to click here again because that's not dark enough for me. Hey, why not do a whole bunch? So double click on those dots. That will even it out on the spacing, so we're one grid either way we look at it. And we can mess with this here to see. Oh, okay, we didn't need to do that anyway because we were already. So I don't know how to zoom on this yet. I haven't figured it out. I think it's Control. No. Still have to learn how to do the zoom. Anyway, that doesn't matter. This is all we need right here. So once you have your word and you have your stuff typed in, you don't have to do anything fancy like I did, but once you have your stuff ready, all you need to do is go to the layer, and then you want to right click on it so you get this menu and go down here to Alpha 2 Selection. And it should all surround with these marching ants here. Now go to Select and then go to Shrink. And this will take the selection and bring it a little smaller, and press 1 or 2 or whatever depending on the size of font you used, and press OK. You want enough room in the middle that you can get to put the bucket in there. So we're going to click on the bucket now, and we're going to rotate this around so that this is white and this is black. If these colors are not what they need to be, just click on them, and you can click on one of these or you can enter in the values. So now we have our stuff selected. We want to go next to Select and Feather. Be very careful with Feather. It's a very powerful tool, and I'm still trying to figure out all its vagaries, but if you don't, if you put too much feather, then it's hard to get the paint bucket to work and whiten the text in the middle very well. So I'm going to go to 200 now. And I'm going to click in the middle of each black section. And this is looking really good right off the bat. So I'm going to scroll over. Now if you want more white, you can simply click on it more. If you want more feathering, you can add a little more to it and undo any painting you previously did. Just take your time, get it to look the way you want. We want as white in here as we can get. I'm clicking on everything twice. Right in the middle. Okay, we need to do one more on the S. Okay, and I'm going to go back to the 100% zoom. Yeah, I'm still learning the interface, so I don't know how you zoom in and out. So this is a little bit shabby of a tutorial as far as the interface, but the effect is going to be cool. And we can do it without zooming in and out of the view anyway, so I'm not worried about it. Alright, so now what we need to do is, trying to remember my steps from earlier. I think we can unselect it now. So go to select, none. Now it's always a good idea to save, remember SOS, save off and silly. So save this as whatever you want to call it. And I'm just going to throw it in my work texture directory. Probably didn't spell that right. Okay, now what we need to do is go ahead and turn the visibility on this. So now that we can see it's on the white. Now we can turn off our grid. We won't need it anymore. So we can turn off show grid. And now we're going to use a Photoshop methodology that's actually going to work here, believe it or not. So I want you to duplicate about 4 times. You can go a little more if you want, depending on how you want to do this. There's some flexibility here. We're going to leave this bottom layer here, though, that we're selected right now alone. So go ahead and press duplicate, 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 duplicate. And that's actually a lot better and faster than Photoshop, too. So go here to Filters, go to Gaussian Blur, and it's Blur, Gaussian Blur. And we want to start small, so maybe a 1 or a 2. Press OK. And then go over here, go to Filters, Blur, Gaussian Blur. And we'll go with a 4. And go to Filter, Blur. And you can play with these values however you want, whatever kind of incremental you want. But you should kind of build up. I'm kind of doing like a power of 2 thing here. Not really, though, because I'm not going to go to 64 on the next one, but you know. Alright, Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. And 16 ought to be my last one. Okay, there's a reason why we did this. Don't freak out yet. Now, go up here to colors, or do we want to do that now or later? No, we do it now. Okay, so colors, colorize. And I'm going to go to 200. I'm going to turn the saturation all the way to the top. So hue is at 200, saturation is at 100, and lightness is going to go up to, I don't know, 80, 75. That'll work. We'll do 80. You can play with these values as you wish. So colors, colorize. And this one maybe was 60. If you go too far, it'll turn white. Colors. And now you can already tell if you've done this kind of a trick, it's very similar to what you would do in Photoshop. You can already tell you have a lot more control. You can make any kind of mix of color you want. You can do anything you want to do with this. This thing freaking rocks. So we're going to go 40. And you see how I'm going down by 20. Oh, you guys are in for a treat. We're almost, oh whoa, come on. Almost got this all done. So this one we'll say 10. It's not a perfect science. Go to the top layer again. So what I had done now to go over this again, the top layer, I gave it the most of the luminosity. So this was 80 luminosity, 100 saturation, and then the hue was, I think it's hue, was at 200. So 200, 180, 200, 160, 200, 120, no, 40. Oh, this should have been 20. Okay, well, let's do that really quick. So edit, undo colorize, colors. I did get one slightly off. Okay, so this one will be 200, 120. Okay. And then click on the top one. And this one down here we've left alone, the original layer. Alright, now go over here to filters. Go to alpha to logo and go to alien glow. I love this thing. Now, you may not always see the window pop up. Look down here where it was flashing and you see the script foo. You want to select the color similar to what you had, or you don't. You can put whatever color you want in here if you want to really play around with it. You can drag the slider to get in the rough area. But I think it correlates here pretty much the same. It's 200, 100, and 100 or something like that. I'm still not 100% sure how that works. And we can change this to bigger, smaller. I'm going to try 128. And when you're all done, press OK. Now, before you do this, you can press cancel and save it incrementally if you'd like to. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to jump off the cliff and hope there's water down below. But you might want to save it incrementally before each step in case you run out of undos and you want to change something or you don't like a look and you want to go back really easily. So keep that technique in mind. So press OK. And it's going to work for a little bit here. And it looks like crap. But we're not done yet. Alright, so click on, you see how it says on the background here, it's black. It should be highlighted automatically, but if it isn't, highlight the one that's a black background and just click on the trash button. We don't need that. Now find the layer that says Alien Glow, which looks like it's the next one, and press the up arrow. Okay, we're closer. Ready for this? Go all the way down here to the bottom layer, the one you saved, and now go up. Just underneath the Alien Glow. Aha, cool, right? Now you can go one more further if you'd like. And that's where I'm going to go. And then what you got to do is go to colors. So now this layer, I should review this. The layer that you had reserved and not done any blur and you hadn't done any kind of colorize to is now at the top. Underneath is the alien, and these are the ones that you had colorized and blurred. Okay? So, now go over here to colors and colorize. And now we'll turn this to 200. You remember that's our hue of our color. We want 100. That's our saturation. Now watch this. Turn this lightness up. Go as high as you want to go. Make your eyes bleed. Keep going. Go as high as you want. You go all the way to 100, which looks freaking cool right now. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. Or you can go down to 90 for more of a blue effect. You can go like to 90. And now you got more blue. Actually, I think I'll go with 90. And press OK. Now, you ready for the coolest thing? If you were going to do this in Photoshop, you would go to the, I think it was the colorize, or I can't remember, hue saturation, that's what it was, hue saturation thing. You could only change it if, remember our black background here? If there was a black background. You could only do it that way. So you always had to have a black background underneath your glowing text. As far as I know. Other people might have figured out another way, but I had never found any other way to do it. Well, guess what? Click the delete button. Watch this. And now you're on. You got a transparent layer underneath, and you got the glow, and now this will go anywhere. It'll fit any web page, white, black, yellow, purple, it don't matter. It'll go on there, and you'll have the glow. Isn't that freaking cool? Now, go to save again. And we'll just call this one number 2 of what we had before. And we'll save it. And I'm going to go ahead and we're going to see what happens if we flatten it, because I haven't gotten to this part yet. So we're going to go to flatten image and see what happens. Okay, so we're going to undo that, because I don't know where that black is coming from. So let's try merging down and see if that does better. So merge down. I hadn't gotten to this step yet. Okay, so you want the merge down, not the flatten image. So merge each of the layer down to the one before. Now go to File, go to Export, You don't save it as another format anymore. It only saves in stuff for Gimp. So you want to go to export. And we want to export this as, what would be a good one with transparencies? Maybe a PNG. I think somebody said that that's one of the best. So we'll go to PNG. And we'll call this test. We'll see if this holds up, because maybe it puts a black in there and this whole thing's just shot. Who knows? But let's hope not. So we got test glow. We're going to export. Okay, we got interlacing. I'll probably turn that on if you're using this on the web. We'll keep this checked for now. We'll see what we get when we're done. Let's leave this unchecked for now and see what we get. We'll leave it at default. I'm just going to add that one right now. And compression level 9. Okay, we'll click on export. Alright, let's see what we got. So, takes me a second to load into my area here. So let's see, can we see, I don't remember if I have a thumbnail viewer for PNG on this. Oh, we do. Okay, now can we open this? With the fax viewer? Will it play it? Well, there you go. Check it out. It's on a gray background. You got glowing text. And you can do this for lightsaber. If you're into the whole Star Wars lightsaber thing, you can do this effect for anything. And it beats Photoshop all the heck. It really does. And I'm an experienced person on this methodology for doing glow text. There might be other ways to do it in Photoshop, but I never learned them or found a tutorial for them. So this concludes this tutorial. I hope you found it fun and interesting. I hope you see now that Gimp is really a program that you need to be checking out and taking a look at. We're talking about Gimp 2.8. And we'll see you maybe in the next video. I'll show you a little bit about the interface, about how to set it up. Later.